So I've been thinking a lot about these today. And you might be wondering what exactly these are. These are two frames that have shared memories between Caleb and I, as well as a lot of objectives for our 5-year plan from when we originally wrote. And several years ago, we did this activity where we wrote down one of our favorite memories together and one of our futuristic goals together every day for 31 days. And we put them in this little box, and then at the end of the 31 days, we opened it up and we went over some of these things together. And it was a lovely trip down memory lane, but it was also a great way to see where we were both at individually and what we wanted together. And in some ways, they ended up becoming like a vision board for us. And we achieved a lot of these goals within the 5-year span that we set for them. At the end of that 5 years, I was really excited about having more time for things like travel to grow our world a little bit more quality time spent with my in-laws and friends, and overall relaxing from not feeling so burdened by like a never-ending goal setting, right? It's sort of like the Zeigarnik effect. You can't let go of things that you haven't done. It's something that comes to your mind and it makes you feel stress more than the things that you've actually accomplished. But I came across this quote recently as part of my think tanking of today, and I'm going to share that with you. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. True long-term thinking is goal-less thinking. It's not about any single accomplishment. It is about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. And while I've reflected today on these collages of scripted goals, as well as this thought-provoking quote and a new concept that's been folded into our home mix of playing video games together, there's this component of I am not a skilled video game player. I'm not a great gamer. But there are times where I'm playing with Caleb and there are opportunities for me to assist as a teammate in a particular skill set that excels where his character has a built skill set. And I think about how when we individually run our quest and we build this experience to level up as with our characters, there's an aspect to that you can apply to life. And that's what I think I'm ready to at least mold my mind right now with a little bit of change, and also to embrace a little bit of my German heritage in this, we're people who are really good at building efficient systems, right? So if there is an efficient way to do it, to break away from stress and extra work, and to simplify something for a sustainable way, I should be the type of person who can master that. So I'm gonna make a commitment to better myself. And with that, I am going to set a 60-day time period where I'm going to explore refining systems in my life to make things a little bit easier, right? I'm going to assess the input of what I am doing day to day and experiencing, and quantify a desired output. What am I getting back that is truly beneficial in a short-term, long-run, and healthy partner type of aspect? And after some time, I think I'm going to simplify this. I'm also going to share what I'm doing in case this might inspire somebody else to think about how they might make some personal growth choices with revisiting systems in their life. Let me sketch this out. So as I mentioned, I'm going to share a little bit of my process behind what I am setting out to do. And I'm going to first think about a couple of things. I'm going to think about my current state, while also considering my ideal state. Now I have to think about what is in the way between these two things transitioning from one another. To go from the current state, you have to take a proper inventory. While looking at your current state, you have to take an honest inventory. And that might be things like, how am I feeling on most days? Am I content? What is currently driving me? And then I'm going to take a look at what can be improved upon, right? What can we process and do better by? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate the obstacles. And then when you look at the obstacles, you might ask questions like, why do these exist? Or look at how you want to rank them as priorities. See how they intersect with different pillars in your life, like your economic self, or your spiritual self, or your romantic self. Do any of these obstacles make you feel good? Do they align with your values? Are they essential in your life? By asking yourself these questions, you might be able to help filter out, to know where to start and focus your energy, to know how to eradicate the problems. By this, I think I'm going to come to a section of knowing what my drivers are. By knowing the drivers that work in my life, they will be a great grounding point and something to center myself with when I feel like I'm failing at eradicating the obstacles. They'll be sort of like a compass to the north while I'm going through the next 60 days. And for people who are also following along and doing this, you might see your drivers as yourself, or if you're in a place where self-worth is something that you're working on, this could be a driver, could be for the betterment of a loved one around you, or achieving better lifestyle skills that improve your day-to-day activities. Now that we know what our inspiration is, I think one of the last steps is to be open-minded to the need for refinement, right? This is not going to be a smooth transition or process. Setting new habits can be difficult. And I'm going to think about it like this. This is my starting place, right? So I'm starting here, and I might succeed for a couple of days until I hit a real bump in the road, or have a bad day, or the weather's bad, or bad news, or I'm overwhelmed, or really anything. And then I could have another couple days that are good. Eventually, by focusing on the drivers that work for you, this will eventually plateau. And my goal is to reassess if my plateau is at 60 days. Traditionally, 90 days creates a new stable habit. So if I transition from where I'm starting to where I want to end up, a new system will help get me to what that ideal state is. But in order to get to that ideal state, I have to sit down and actually start by taking assessment of where the current state is and identify my variables. So I know for me, one of the system changes I want to make in my life is I need better organization. I'm not really great at clutter or disorganization, and how I interact with my husband is very different. I tend to like to live in a space that appears that nobody lives in that space. Whereas my husband's really good at living in a space that does look like there are inhabitants. And with that, he's really good at rising above the chaos of that. Meanwhile, I get bogged down in this mire of stress while I'm looking at this isn't put away, or remembering where that is so it doesn't get lost, even though that's not where it goes, etc., etc. And I know that there are other obstacles besides this current system that I'm identifying in my life. And I think ultimately this will be a thing that I sit down with over a period of days and think about what those obstacles are, or what these improvements I want to see happen. Because as you do different activities over a longer period of time, you're reminded of, oh right, this is weighing me down, or this is weighing me down when I'm out running errands, or this is weighing me down while I'm at work, or this is weighing me down here at home. This is weighing me down out in the garden space. This is weighing me down fill in the blank. By changing a little bit of everything, it can help funnel, or at least my goal is to have it funnel and create a system of stability and calm and personal growth that's healthy and better for both me and my husband here at home. So I'm going to start changing the format of my blogs to cover and focus on these personal growth system changes over the next 60 days. Between now and the end of October, I look forward to sharing what I'm working on and what's working, my pluses and my minuses, my reassessments, and I'd be excited to see who wants to share their process as they explore it on their own. Please share if a personal growth strategy like this has worked for you in the past. So remember to keep growing from where you are. I'll share more with you soon. Tschüss.